There's a strange kind of love that hurts more than it heals, the kind where you fall for someone who never really lets you in, but you keep trying anyway, convincing yourself that one day they'll finally see your worth. If you've ever been drawn to someone emotionally cold, distant, or unavailable, this isn't a coincidence, it's a pattern, a reflection of something deeper inside you. And the truth is, that attraction didn't start with them. It started years ago, long before you even knew what love meant. I used to think I just had bad luck in love, that I kept meeting people who didn't know how to care. But over time, I realized something painful. I wasn't unlucky, I was repeating something familiar. See, when you grow up around emotional distance, your brain learns to chase warmth that's never consistent. You mistake unpredictability for passion, silence for strength, and emotional coldness for depth. It's like a part of you believes love has to be earned, not given. Psychologists call this repetition compulsion, the unconscious drive to recreate familiar emotional patterns, even when they hurt us. It's your mind's way of trying to rewrite the past, to finally win the love you never truly got. So when you meet someone who's emotionally cold, part of you lights up, not because they're good for you, but because they feel familiar. It's like your nervous system whispers, "This feels like home," even though it's the very home that once broke you. The cruel irony is that what's familiar often feels safe, even when it's toxic. You crave emotional connection, but when you finally get it, it feels uncomfortable, almost suffocating. So you end up missing the coldness, because deep down, that's what love always felt like to you. Distant, uncertain, painful. I remember being with someone who rarely said what they felt. I would pour my heart out, hoping they'd open up too. But they never did. They stayed calm, detached, almost untouched by anything real. I kept thinking, maybe if I'm more patient, more loving, more understanding, they'll finally open up. But all that did was make me disappear. I became smaller, quieter, and sadder, while convincing myself I was strong for loving them anyway. And that's the trauma speaking. The belief that love means waiting, fixing, or proving. The belief that being ignored is a test of loyalty, not a sign to leave. Because when you grow up emotionally neglected, love feels like work. It feels like chasing someone who never comes closer, like trying to earn attention that never arrives. You don't even realize you're addicted to the chase, the anxiety, the waiting, the hope. That emotional roller coaster becomes your comfort zone. But here's the truth. Most people never say, "Cariños, you're not crazy for wanting someone who doesn't want you back. You're wounded." And your wounds have a language. They make you crave the same kind of pain you once called love. That's why even when you meet someone who actually cares, you push them away. They feel too calm, too safe, too real. You tell yourself there's no spark, but what's really missing is the chaos you've mistaken for love your whole life. It's strange how trauma hides inside our preferences. You think you're choosing people, but sometimes it's your pain doing the choosing. And until you heal, you'll keep confusing emotional coldness with mystery, emotional unavailability with strength, and real love with boredom. Because real love isn't supposed to hurt, it's supposed to feel steady. But if you've only ever known love that burns and freezes, steady can feel like emptiness. There's a moment in healing that no one talks about. The moment you stop feeling drawn to the people who make you anxious. It's confusing at first. You meet someone kind, and your mind says, "This is nice," but your body says, "Something's missing." That's not chemistry, that's conditioning. You're not bored, you're just not triggered. You're learning what peace feels like, and peace can feel foreign after years of chaos. I read a study once that said people who grew up in emotionally inconsistent environments often mistake anxiety for attraction. Their bodies associate love with uncertainty. That's why when someone's unpredictable, you feel alive, because that's how your nervous system learned to feel love, in survival mode. But when someone's consistent and emotionally available, it feels strange. Your brain says something's off. But what's off isn't them. It's your definition of love. And that's the hard part of healing. You have to retrain your brain to see calm as love, not danger. You have to teach your body that safety isn't boring, that kindness isn't fake, that silence doesn't always mean disinterest. You have to unlearn the idea that love has to hurt to be real. I think the hardest part is realizing how much you've normalized pain. You tell yourself you're strong for handling emotional distance, but maybe real strength isn't about holding on. Maybe it's about letting go. Maybe strength is choosing peace over chaos, even when chaos feels more familiar. I used to believe that if I just loved someone enough, I could melt their walls. But love doesn't fix people who don't want to be open. You can't pour warmth into someone who's made of ice and expect them to melt for you. Sometimes loving someone means accepting that your warmth will never reach them. And that's not failure. That's clarity. The day you stop trying to win love from emotionally unavailable people is the day you start healing. Because you finally stop searching for love in people who are allergic to it. You stop begging for crumbs when you deserve a feast. You stop confusing potential with reality. And most of all, you stop betraying yourself for the illusion of connection. Healing doesn't mean you'll never feel drawn to cold people again. It means you'll recognize the pattern and choose differently. It means when your heart whispers, maybe this time, your wisdom replies, no, not again. It means you finally stop chasing the feeling that once broke you. The truth is, emotional unavailability isn't mysterious. It's just pain wearing armor. And people who are emotionally cold often don't know how to love, not because they don't care, but because love feels unsafe to them. But that's their healing to do, not yours. Your job isn't to thaw their ice. It's to stop freezing yourself to match their temperature. If you've ever loved someone emotionally cold, I know how that feels. The hope, the ache, the quiet, waiting for something that never comes. But I also know this. The love you are searching for in them is the love you need to give yourself. Because once you start loving yourself with the same intensity you used to chase them, you stop settling for half love. You start attracting warmth that stays. And one day, you'll look back and realize that what once felt like heartbreak was actually your awakening. That you weren't unlovable. You were just loving people who didn't know how to receive it. You'll realize that real love was never supposed to feel like waiting. It was supposed to feel like coming home. So if you're still drawn to emotionally cold people, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means your heart is still searching for the warmth it missed. But now you know. You'll never find it in someone who runs from love. You'll find it in the parts of yourself that finally stop chasing. And if you're anything like me, and you felt this story somewhere deep inside you, then maybe it's time to choose differently this time. Because peace isn't found in their silence. It's found in your decision to stop trying to melt ice with fire. If you and I are anything alike, and you want to keep walking this path with me, then subscribe.